Ladies and gentlemen, gals, pals, and guys, gals, and pals, we are here to the finals of the Reservoir League with the VAL team. We are going to see them fight the State 342. Thank you for joining. We have a 2-minute delay currently. So bear in mind, as we are watching the finals with a 2-minute delay, I will be looking at chat as soon as I can, but it might take a while for me to reply to any of your questions. Currently, we have 8 sides with roughly the same amount of players. We have 28 sides and players in VAL side and 29 in 342 side. Last time that I saw the check when they were in Discord, seemed like they had to do some last minute changes in terms of replacement, but besides that, things have been mostly okay. We're gonna see how this is gonna develop, and we are gonna see how this match is gonna go. We are going to get directly broadcasts from their players. Tokugawa has been very, very kind to be with us here sharing everything. Looks like they even won SVS and they're using the SVS buff to be fighting for this battle. Looks like also that our General Tokugawa is using a very, very interesting painting of the original Tokugawa. And it's gonna start in 57 seconds. I hope you're all ready because this match is gonna be a very, very, very interesting match. And I apologize for that, as I am sharing a little bit of my... I'm sharing my screen, so I will be sharing... I'll be looking at my notes here of everything that I can. Danny, thank you for the follow. Little BB, I don't need luck. I will be not participating in this, Piggy. That being said, I am going to be here commenting, looking at the match. It's going to be a very interesting match. Looks like they're going to be super aggressive, as they already are using the plasma cannon. The Synergy Tactics, which is 15 minutes cannon. They are currently using a variety number of teams of people that are actually not only watching the stream, but are also that are in different roles of each team. They have currently 4 teams. 3 teams are teams that are responsible each for a certain specific role, and the final team, which is an attack team, that is responsible also for holding back. And they went straight for the water treatment center with this team. Let's see if they're going to be able to hold. They already are taking, from what it seems, 6 buildings to start, but they're not holding whole of Solar Power Station. And Solar Power Station can be a building that's going to be very important here, especially for the way that the current RR works. It is 355 against 342 Bender. I expect, due to the similarity of their stats, because this will likely be a very competitive match, that it's going to be no control of the buildings for a long time. So I'd say at least 10 to 15 minutes. I may be wrong, but we'll see. It will all depend of what states are going to do in each size, and what are they actually doing. They are doing a 1-minute rallies. Keep in mind that you can do 1 minute, 2 minute, or 5-minute rallies in Reservoir League. Same for Reservoir Raid. And being quite honest, if you are doing more than a 1-minute rally in the finals, you're likely not going to be able to win. Because things here are hyper competitive. If your players are not aware of what is happening and are not speeding up to be able to join, usually they're not going to be able to compete with very, very clutch matches. And you can see a lot of players are speeding up at the moment. And if you look at the minimap, there are a bunch of fights happening. We just had a water treatment center be hit at the top. Looks like they flipped Solar at the moment. And we'll see if Tokugawa can hold. Tokugawa so far has been holding. And he's not anymore. The water treatment center. Our Einstein picture just took it over here. And some of the buildings are flipping, some are not. And if some of the buildings are being held, this will give a huge advantage off the start. Hello, Colonel. Welcome to the stream. There is a 2-minute delay today, so keep that in mind. That you guys are not gonna be able to watch everything that I am doing live due to that delay. I just checked, and yes, the 120 seconds are live, so it's gonna take a little bit of time of delay when I am here and talking to you guys, and when you're actually listening to my voice later on. I hope you're having a wonderful day. This final is gonna be very interesting so far, Colonel. Both sides are very, very strong. VAL has fought this team before, not only in last year, but they also fought this team previously in SVS. Not only that, but they are also fighting them multiple times in many other occasions. They are even kind of friendly rivals. Let's put it that way. Hey, looks like the first building controls are up, and looks like VAL got the first building controls, both for water treatment center, not water treatment center, sorry. Water processing center in top and in the right side of the map. Here's the thing, even if they lost the control of some of those buildings, those 12,000 points in difference this early in a match as clutch as this one are gonna make a huge difference. So VAL already starting in a very interesting position here. And as I was saying, they fought this alliance before. I believe it was in the quarterfinals. I don't remember the exact name of the alliance, but they fought last year in the quarterfinals, the alliance from the state 342. But they were not a completely unified state alliance, and they were not as organized as they are this time. This time, not only they copied and improved a little bit on the strategy from 355, but the 342 alliance also are finally fighting as a state united, and they're such. They have been gunning so high to go to the finals to face them. It looks like it's sheer force of will to actually defeat and completely obliterate VAL that brought them this far. Let's see if they're gonna be able to keep up. That being said, another interesting factor about this match is that the leader of VAL at the moment is Thor. And the leader of 342 is Thanos. So this is basically an Avengers level of battle. It looks like most buildings are being fought. The only building that had control is the water processing plant that is there in the top. I apologize if I'm saying the name of the building wrong. I don't know if voice is coming necessarily on time. It may be that because this is the first time I've seen here. So the question that I have is that, are you listening to my voice perfectly on time, and is my voice coming early, and the things that I match at the moment are working out? As an example, the player just crashed a few seconds ago. Authentic SOS experience. I know we all been through there in a very important match, the game crashing. That's exactly how SOS works. So do let me know that if the game is crashing a few minutes, like 1 minute and a few seconds later. Because that will let me adapt also to your own experience of what you're doing at the moment. An interesting thing about VAL, the team from VAL, is that they are composed of a team from State 555. And they are using, in this match, they are using mostly spenders, mostly medium to big spenders. That being said, for almost all the entirety of Reservoir League, even though they had very, very rough matches, they were composed of a huge chunk of free-to-play players. And not only this time, but also last time, those were integral part of it. So the point that I'm trying to make in here is that even a state as whole as 355 and as competitive as them in this also need free-to-play players to be able to be competitive as joiners. So even if in the finals they are needing a bunch of spenders, free-to-play players were an integral part for them to be able to compete and get this far. So for those that don't believe that they are important as free-to-play players to join matches and to do competing, think again. It's not only in my alliance, but in this alliance and all the good alliances that I know, the free-to-play players are very important to be able to compete. And it looks like some of the water spillage on top went for points for Team 342. That being said, advantage of over 12,000 points is so in VAL's advantage. It has been 11 minutes of the match. And some of the buildings have flipped, some has not, but has been no control besides that building in the top. That mistake might cost a huge advantage for 342, but we'll see. Good to know. Right now, in the top of my computer is 48 minutes and 41 seconds. Let me know if my voice reaches out to you in a few minutes. Usually, as I said, the delay was 120 seconds, and if on top, it's 48 minutes. The screen. The game is very well matched up. It's a very good match, Valhalla. And the Alliance also has your name, so you should be honored. Hi, Jeej, how are you doing? This game so far has been very, very interesting. This matchmaking, I believe, is what every single Alliance wishes for, but honestly, they do not know if they can get, because matchmaking can be broken. That being said, looks like the building in the top part started to be held by our friends in 342, but VAL is also holding at this moment the helipad building, which gives them relocators. It's still less points per second than the one in the top, but it gives them some utility and some points. So we are going to see how this is going to develop. Right now, though, it seems like that most people joining has no planes in here. This is going to be interesting how they're going to develop. Because VAL is known for actually the players being very, very efficient with their planes. Most players, if I am not mistaken, from VAL, I think they have 12 max planes, and sorry, they have 9 max planes, where 342 have 12. They are a little bit behind in terms of planes, but they should be able to compete in equal footing. Alright, looks like VAL got another building. That looks like they got a processing plant back in the bottom left. So this is going to make them a little bit more points than 342. They're going to be ahead by the helipad, so 240 points. Lydia Deeds, thank you so much for the follow. So as you can see, we're watching from Tokugawa perspective. He is one of the leads from VAL. As you can see, this is one of the important things that people should realize, that most good players are either in voice checking and listening to voice comms, and then checking the information that they can from their stream to be able to be on point to do their roles, or if that is not the case, they are usually checking the information that are in their stream from marches that are being sent to them, where they can attack, what they can do regarding to that to actually have a good effect. So whenever your raid leader to you and your raid, the coordinator that things are you doing, are telling you to pay attention in chat, this is what they need. Because to be very efficient and be able to battle in a very competitive match, you have to be on point for the entirety of the match. And I know, we all have HDDD in this current age. The internet ruined us all. That being said, it is very important that we keep our attention at least for 1 hour here, or for the amount that will kill us in any SES of 8 hours. And looks like VAL is starting to have a decent advantage in position, and they are putting them in the defensive, to fight in a defensive position, because they are holding 2 buildings, and they are about to hold the other buildings as well, besides this water treatment center. And here is the thing: 342 are not a team that usually is used to fight defensively, and this match is going to be basically a match of not only mental prowess but also of rhythm. The alliance that is able, or the state that is able to put the other state in the correct rhythm and their rhythm to fight and to fight their own way, that state is also going to have a massive advantage, because it's one thing to fight in your own territory, in your own rhythm. It's another thing to react to what other enemies doing, and reacting takes time. And this is not a match of time. This is a match where you, unlike SES, that you can think and you can make mistakes. Every single mistake in Reservoir League is being punished. It can be punished also in an SVS, but to a lesser degree, because you have up to 4 hours to make up for that point and to be able to match up and have a better experience. So far, though, as the center opened, Valhalla is also pressuring another position in center. They held another building, so now it's 3 buildings that they're holding, compared to the 2 buildings that 342 are doing. This is gonna be very interesting to see what's gonna happen. Looks like they're also able to keep fighting for Solar. Solar is, despite what people know, Solar is one of the most important buildings, even though that it gives less points. And Occupation gives you less points into that. The reason that most people do not realize that Solar is important as it is, as you guys are seeing how matches are being done here, right? The match is very, very, very tight. This means that only a couple seconds will be the difference between you getting an occupation and you not getting an occupation. So although I agree with Artoria that first occupation is crucial, Solar is just as important, because there are some hidden mechanics that most people don't notice on the buildings. And that hidden mechanics is every time, it's compared to every time you occupy, not only first time that you occupy. I'll let you find out for yourselves at some other, or we can discuss some other time, not in the championship. This, because I have to show you and it's a little bit complicated to exemplify. But I can tell you that the first occupation is crucial and very important, but Solar is just as important. So honestly, if you had to keep and hold a Solar for most of the match, and to lose the first 1 or 2 buildings, the first occupation, as long as you're keeping Solar, you are easier for you to catch up than it is for the opponent to catch up if they sacrifice a Solar for 1 or 2 of the buildings that is not, let's say, the center building, first occupation. 25,000 points at this point of the match, which is 20 minutes. Looks like VAL advantage is starting to grow a little bit. It's not a one-sided match like it was last season, but considering that VAL is one of the few alliances that might be able to be double champions, this is actually looking very good to VAL at the moment. And our Japanese Emperor Tokugawa is still fighting for this building. Will take less than 1 minute for them to fight. Considering the march time, I think there is a very, very good chance that they might hold this building. Even if they lose, they might get the occupation bonus from this building. Because there are 10 seconds between the occupation time and the fact that they are going to be attacking. Hello, help, SOS. There is a delay in stream. That's why you're not getting my messages. There is a delay of 120 seconds in today's match, as it is on the top, showing. And there you go, and we got an occupation. Regardless of what happened, they lost, but they still won the occupation points. So this was a mistake, at least, and this is what I mean about time being crucial in this match. Even though that the building was flipped, they got enough time in to just be able to get their points from the occupation. And this is why Solar is crucial and most people don't know. It's in matches that are as tight and as knit close as this one. And it is interesting. There are a bunch of rallies and matches going so far. And most of the buildings are full from what I can see. If they're not full, they're very close to full. The only exception is poor Tokugawa here in his rally, but the thing is that Tokugawa, even though that his rally is not full, his rally is only halfway of the time, and they just got kicked out, so it is completely understandable. There is Tokugawa joining as many rallies as he can. As they only have 9 max plans, they probably divided the plans between the teams. They have currently 4 teams, and playing distribution in a match like this are completely problematic. I understand, Kartorvatsi. I cannot translate messages during this match right now. You're gonna have to be patient. This is a special event that I have to cover. We are 20 minutes in with 28,000 advantage points. So slowly the advantage points are turning. With 342 not being able to hold some buildings for a while. And Schneiser, the main rally lead from VAL, is holding the center building. Looks like they also got another small building. So they are going to be able to start using the raid zombies for buildings held by enemy. So far, though, there are no buildings that are being held. So even though this is a small buff in case they have to flip a building, so far it's one of the buildings that is currently giving them less advantage in the current position. Which is understandable why they're able to hold this building. Kartorvatsi, I cannot read your messages and talk right now. I am hosting this event. Please be patient. I'll be reading all the messages from everyone when the event is over. So today, unless you are speaking English, I apologize, but it's going to be very, very hard for me to address what you're saying in chat. Yep. Which is why, even though you said that first occupation water is crucial, I wanted to make sure that people understood that even if solar occupation is, first occupation is completely crucial. I agree with that 100%. That it is also crucial to have solar due to the reduction in time. And I had discussions with some of the streamers on stream with them not seeing solar as very important. I decided not to address her in there because I thought it would be inappropriate to the streamer. That being said, I do disagree completely with the streamer said that solar not being as relevant as the position that he did. And not only that, looks like the red team 342 hold 2 buildings at the moment. Thank you, Leroy Jenkins. And I have a button for you. I know that this is not proper, okay? I know that this is not specific, but I cannot resist, and I hope you guys bear with me in this, okay? Thank you! Leroy Jenkins! Let's go, my friend. Let's keep seeing the match. And I'm sorry for everyone that right now lost their minds and their earbuds while listening to this sound effect. Let's go. Let's watch what's gonna happen next. Yes, I agree 100% with you, Valhalla, and not only that, but here is something that a lot of people do not know, is that stats are very, very, very important, and they matter a lot, especially in a clutch match like this. But what will win this match is not necessarily stats, because let's be real here. 342 from what I talked with Val, and I've seen the information that they show me. They gave me a very interesting first time information of the research that they have done. Is that 342 is actually stronger in terms of raw power than Valhalla. So if you were look only about number of spenders and raw power, 342 would have a huge advantage here. And the thing is that Torbert, he is a very, very good strategist. I've heard that Thanos is a good strategist as well, which is, it's had a funny thing, Thor versus Thanos. But not only the experience of the finals, but also being able to have a good coordination as a team makes a huge difference in any competitive battle. Be it SVS, be it Reservoir League. The fact that you are in sync as one with your team and you have to agility to respond quickly. You're able to pivot to every time that you have a problem that you have to adapt with your strategy. All those things, they are small advantages that they do pile up, and in most cases they make up for small difference in stats. Because you can make that with double rallies, you can make those advantages with with creative thinking, and you can make those differences to with right reaction time at the right time. Because remember that the occupation, especially from what you're watching, usually do not last a lot of time. And here to make clear what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about, let's say, a free-to-play player going to be able to compete with a huge spender that spent $50,000 in SOS. That's not the kind of things that I'm talking about. I'm talking about, let's say, a player that is actually competing for, let's say, 340, with $40,000 against a $50,000 spender. So we're talking about here about huge spenders either way, but still they are able to gap a certain difference in spending due to how their leaders are leading. So whenever people see a matchup, that they are fighting a stronger opponent, remember that morale is just as important, because if they are not, morale is not be dealt with, and people start giving up out of a fight, that's actually very, very bad for competing. And looks like during the way that we're talking, even though at the moment that VAL still has the advantage in terms of how much they are gaining per minute, the 342 was able to catch up slightly with some of the building occupations. So right now the difference is 24,000. So that being said, it was only reduced by 1,000. And hello, Kurt Lervatzi, hello. And the game crashed again, authentic SOS experience. And this is how we feel perfectly about SOS and the way that it deals with crashes and important events like this. It always happens, man. It always happened to me. It happens to everyone else. I got the red circle of death during a lot of my matches in my matches as well. Torbert is a very, very good human being. I can tell you that from Akuma. The time that he took to explain to me every single detail, not exactly from their plan, but from their team and what people were doing, hey, they were being incredible people, being patient and taking their time not only to help me broadcast them, but give you guys good content and good information to talk about. Perfect. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. And let's keep going. It looks like the advantage now is going slightly in VAL's direction. They are currently at 27,000 ahead, and they are gaining a little bit more advantage. And one of the characteristics that VAL does have is that they try to leave literally nothing on the board. So they fight for everything. They fight for every puddle. They fight for every gathering node. They fight for everything, because you guys have seen not only screenshots about scores being flipped, like Serbian girl posted a score that she lost in the last few seconds of the match because her buildings were flipped yesterday in the official Discord, and we all had that experience. I was able to flip some matches as well. So every small advantage that you can push for fighting for everything can be the difference between winning or losing a match. And I am actually shocked that we have 42 people actually watching gameplay footage. I think that VAL is very popular. I can't say that I am the one that's popular, but I can say that the VAL is likely very popular for this match to be this watched. 40 people in a match with no mini games. Who would have thought? Especially with a delay one. I mean, you could have asked me, my friend, which was my predictions. Because not only I did research in the matches, but I've been talking with VAL so far. And as I was saying, Air3X, which is the name of 342 Alliance, they are a very strong alliance. They are, if you be honest, the alliance that is purely stronger in this match. So for anyone that actually was looking at only raw strength, they would be thinking them as the winners for this match. But that is not how champions are decided in battles like this. And this is a clutch match, I have to say. Only 30,000 points this late at 30 minutes? That's a very, very clutch match. Greetings high from 355. Let me check your message, Melodies of Life. Let me check your message. I will not be able to... it will take a while because I have 2 minutes to reply. Not exactly. This has a pay-to-win thing appropriate with it, but there are features in this battle that are mostly strategy-based. So although money do matters, this battle is a battle that it depends also on strategy. Looks like our Tokugawa General might hold the building again. Yeah, and of course now it all makes sense. It looks like it's 100% appropriate because I am the smaller streamer of all the ones that are streaming Reservoir League, so that makes a lot of sense. I am gonna give you guys a code soon. I'm not that popular, Mara. I'm not that popular. I just check all the streams that are doing Reservoir League. I'm the smallest one as always. Alright, let's go. Let's keep getting in the content because you guys are here to watch about that. Let me check your message as well, Kurturvatsi. Good luck, Val. At least I trust that Val is gonna beat this, my friend. They were my bat, not only the official SOS Discord, but they also were my bat in here. In the game. So let's hope that I win my bat and I get my coins. Come on, Val, get my coins. Abu Hassan is one of the people that I've heard before the match started to be a member of the Team 3, which is a stream that I'm streaming for. This is going to be very, very interesting to see how this is going to develop. I am checking my own stream. Yes, the delay is working properly as it should. Hello, Kurturvatsi, hello. Good luck, Val. I don't think Val needs luck when they are fighting not only a match as clutch as this, but they are fighting with the advantage that they currently have, which even if it gets reduced a little bit like it is at the moment, they have been keeping a steady advantage of up to 20. Usually it started at 12,000 points, but it has been 25 points from the beginning. 25,000, not the beginning, but the first 15 minutes or so, they spread to 25, and ever since, even if they went a little bit farther, it was never below 25,000 points. So right now, 25,000 points has been the point where actually Val was able to keep it up. So it is going to be interesting to see how this match is going to develop. Because if 342 can catch up even a little bit, this is going to make them a little bit more competitive, and Val is going to have to play defensive. And Val is not used to play defensive. Yeah, Arthoria, I know a bunch about the game, and I research it every single match in that, but quite frankly, either people are more interested in watching streamers that are actually competing, or I don't have the good looks of Visca, so I'm not going to be able to be one of the popular streams. Maybe if I dyed my hair and it was long again, right? And I removed the beard to look like a cute girl. She is very good at the game as well, so she probably knows what she's talking about when she's commenting as well. To make that very clear. That being said, looks like most of the buildings in the center building is being decided. Schneiser was able to hold the clutch in the building in the center. And now that Schneiser held that building, oh boy, it's gonna take a whole truckload of an army in the middle to remove Schneiser. And quite frankly, due to how Schneiser works, you do not want to remove Schneiser from the center. Because let's say that Schneider is gonna be sent off from. It's not me. It's not my recalls. It's the recalls of the players that are playing currently at the moment. Melodies of Life. Let me check your moment. This is Tokugawa's one. It is 9 a.m. for me. Melodies of Life, 9:35 a.m. for me, and it is minus. No, it's not minus. It's 2 Celsius right now. That's why it's not as cold as it usually be. And as I said, it's winter, so I have my blanket. I could get a blanket, or I could get my I could get something to actually heat my room, and as I don't like to spend a lot of money in things, and whenever it's only necessary, and I don't think that would make me actually be very comfortable. It would make me comfortable, but if every time that I would have to go to the bathroom, it would be cold outside, and I even would get sick. So blankies are better. Alright, 342 flip to fill buildings. Val also flipped to fill buildings. Looks like they flip buildings in the bottom, and there is some water spillage being fought behind. It seems like every time that is water spillage, that 342 is holding puddles a little bit better. So the clutch that they are trying to fight here, and this is just my observation, it's not necessarily what has been happening because I'm not watching live in terms of being able to move the camera, but it looks like the one point that 342 is a little bit better is in capturing puddles. Cyclo, I am not the one that I don't know if you're actually Cyclo, but if you are Cyclo anyway, I'm not the one that is actually playing this battle. I am the one that is actually commenting on, though. I had some very good information from the ex-champions, which is VAL. They are the defending champions in here. I am actually personally biased towards VAL because I am cheering for them to win. That being said, the match is starting to become very clutch. And this looks like a very interesting scenario based on our last battle that happened before. Because last year what happened was that VAL started behind 342. And as VAL started behind 342, they were able to turn on the tides. And as they turned on the tides, they turned like the match in a way of them to win. I don't think this is gonna happen here, but I can tell you that 342 is gonna fight tooth and nail to destroy everything. Looks like our friend Thanos is ready to try to snap VAL out of existence. Will Thor be able to fight Thanos back with his both his Mjolnir and his Ragnarok axe? We'll see. I hate summer as well, Melodies of Life. I hate summer. VVV TNF, I don't know. I think Visca might be streaming that one. I have to check. No. Visca is streaming AVR versus TFL one. Looks like no one is streaming currently VVV versus TNF. $22,000. Even if even if it was slightly reduced advantage, it's still a decent advantage based on how the ebb and flow of this match is going. Glad to know that you're actually Cyclo. The only thing that I'm showing people right now is how the battles is done, and I'm explaining everything to them. I wish I was competing in the finals, but we were not able to match God, and which is funny to say that we're not able to match God. But still, they were a very strong alliance, and we're not able to fight them. Looks like Schneider lost a build in the middle again. Oh boy, you don't want to invite Schneider hating to you, but it seems like that was a delayed message, because Schneider currently is holding actually a building with occupation bonus. If I had to say, right now, I would say that this match is frankly the match that is the one being closely most closely held at the moment. Yeah, just a little spilled water behind, and that's the thing that I was saying. So far, it seems that VFX is actually better at gathering some of the watering tiles, the water tiles in the ground. From the small examples that I've seen, and the score that they increase slightly in terms of difference every time that they flip a building. But it seems like VAL catched up with that, and they're able to not only increase advantage, to also be able to be very competitive. Because right now, the difference is the highest it's been so far. It's almost 40,000 points. And 40,000 points at this moment is a lot. It looks like the gathering nodes from what I could gather are kinda even, with the red side being mostly on the left and the right side, and the blue side mostly on the right in terms of gathering nodes. And Vowels still have a decent advantage in terms of points in 400 and 4,500, between 4,200 and 4,300 points. Right now they're back to 4,400 points, while 342 is actually close to 3,000 points, between usually 2,400 and 3,000 points. I am streaming for blue. I'm streaming for blue at the moment. It is Tokugawa from the blue team. They are fighting for this building. No, here is the thing, Melodies of Life. As this footage may be used, I am using music that has no copyright, because these musics are so old that they do not have copyright, and they're not going to be copyright struck. So that's why I'm using those music aspects. Hi, John Wick, I am doing great. And also, guys, please be patient. It might take up to 2 minutes for me to reply your answers. The reason to that is that VAL requested a small delay, so people could watch the matches like they are doing here, but it would not affect their performance at all. And thank you for that information, Colin. I did not know that. I can tell you that from my experience, VAL from 305.5, they have been very gracious human beings to me as well. They treat me very well. It was very wholesome how they reached out to me and they wanted me to host this. I am very thankful for them to doing that. I really appreciate their efforts in this. And the way that they fight is the way that I like to fight my battles. And I like to also be gracious if I can when we win things. So I'd say that VAL is what I want 710 to be in 1 year or so. Don't know if that's gonna happen, but that's our goal. And looks like the match. Hey, authentic SOS experience, right? Crashing the game. Let's every time that I would say for every time that the game crashes, for us to take a shot of a drink. But that would be against SOS terms of service, because you cannot get drunk on stream. And I would probably be hammered if I had to take a shot every time the game crashed. Because, oh boy, my experience with the game crashing are not fun ones. Hey, Leroy! That's not my resource. You can try coming for my resource, my friend. I have 12 billion resource, but I'm not gonna be easy as well. Even though that I'm not like a huge player, compared to an older state, I'm not a huge player. I can hold myself in battle, I can tell you that. So 16 minutes left with only 36,000 points in the round. This is actually still achievable. It's still achievable for 342 for free X. This is not what it. This is not R3X. Sorry, this is not a battle that it's still gone. Although it's starting to get less and less possible for them to flip this. I do think that this is mostly decided right now, not because of the score. The score, quite frankly, is very clutch. It's still very easy for you to flip this score. The problem is, as I said, this is a battle for rhythm. This is if you're fighting in your comfort zone, which is being offensive, and both alliances are using being offensive. This gives you a huge advantage. So, thank you, Mara. I really appreciate that comment. I really do. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. And this battle is about rhythm. And VAL is used to this type of rhythm of being offensive and actually fighting back and while holding some buildings. So this is VAL fighting in their comfort zone, while R3X is not able to fight in their comfort zone. So even though that this is an achievable difference, every single advantage that they lose will pile up in that rhythm that they cannot keep up. And if they're not being able to be keeping up, this is gonna eventually be bad for them. Looks like Tokugawa took the water treatment center again. And the map is mostly blue right now. This is gonna be a rough to turn the tide around. Because it's 4,200 points for VAL at the moment and only 208,000. Sorry, 208. 2,800, sorry for that. And, hey, this is gonna be a very, very interesting ending. At 10 minutes, if this difference doesn't reduce, I'm gonna shot call and say that VAL are the champions. Because 40,000 points is almost impossible to turn around. I'd say it's very, very hard for this match to be flipped at the moment. That being said, although it's still possible, the time window is being closed a lot. And why do I say that this is possible for you to actually turn out? Do you see the water icon? Hello, Kurtler Watson. Hello. Do you see the water icon that is happening behind? Hey, looks like he's gonna clutch with the massive march in the last 10 minutes to make sure that he can try to hold that building. So if you see the water icon below, for the longer time that you hold a building, the more water that building collects. That is your water. And although that is your water, whenever you lose that building, that water is always spilled around you. And what most people don't know is that water is taken from your score and added to the score of whoever is actually gathering those water tiles. So this means that if the enemy is holding a buildings for a decent amount of time, that you can reduce their score and you can gather the score to your team. And this will mean that your team is able to flip a lot of the score that they were not able to flip. Like just what happened in the top side and top left side for Solar. They just flipped the building, and as they flip that building, there is going to be some water in. Just for the flash of a second, you had minus points for VAL as soon as they flipped the building in there. That is correct. If it is 1k water, you actually go down 2k water. instead of 1k if you lose the puddles. That's why puddle gathering is important. It's the changes in the system for Reservoir Raid and Reservoir League made this very competitive, a lot more competitive than it was before, because now gathering and the water puddles make sure that regardless of your stats, you have to have people that are like this to just react and be able to gather and be in everything, because buildings are very important. That being said, if you are not gathering the nodes that are around you and you're leaving them behind and you're not using the water spillage, at the end of the match you are gonna lose a lot of points, because those points that are like there, like in the middle, that give you 1,800 per second, I'd say roughly 50 to 60% of those points are actually yours. The other points are actually in the building and anyone can pick regardless of reaction. So if you do not have reaction time to gather the water puddles, what will end up happening is you're only getting half of those points, while the other half is going to the other team anyway, and they are still gathering the nodes around you. So the difference in points that you're getting per minute in the moment, it's not as big as it seems. And it actually can, you can be able to turn the tides based on that. That's why I was so afraid of shot calling a win for VAL before. Although right now I can say confidently that VAL is the defending champions again. There is no way that in 8 and 9 minutes, even with the flips that they did right now, that this match can be decided. So congratulations to VAL for the win. Although I do know VAL, they're not gonna leave anything in the board. They're gonna fight with everything they can. And we are gonna see how they're gonna fight in the end, right? I know that VAL is not an alliance that's gonna leave anything in the ground. They're gonna fight to the last second, regardless of difference. VAL is not an alliance that would slack off. One interesting thing that I see them do, if they have enough players, from what it seems, is that they have formations with no heroes. And the reason that they have formations with no heroes is to be able to send the right formation that they have to, with a decent amount, even though that they are not sending the max amount, to make sure that they are holding and having the heroes that they need. So in Reservoir League, only 2 or 3 matches are the matches that are actually deciding factors. And if you have enough heroes that give you the bonuses for your team, as it's capped, I think it's capped at 5 heroes from different joiners, you can actually make sure that the joiners that are using the right heroes are the ones that are getting the bonuses. So if you're not sending any heroes, you guarantee that the bonuses are being taken from the heroes that you actually want. So let's say that you were in the range of state 710 and you didn't have a lot of spenders like we don't. You would guarantee that the people that are joining are either using Daryl or other heroes that are the hero that you want to give the bonus to your rally at that point. So I think it's a very interesting strategy that they do have indeed a formation with no heroes. Hello, Milky Way. I don't think there's any Plasma 11 in here. Let's hope that let's hope. Oh, you mean T11s? Yes, they have all T11s. I read wrong. I saw Plasma 11 and not T11. I said, no, Daddy, please stop. No Plasma 11. My wallet cannot hold Plasma 11. It is over for sure. It is over for sure. Now it's over for sure. That being said, it was a clutch match for a long time. As you can see, the difference is starting to become more and more broad. Because it is quite clear to me that 342 or R3X, whatever name you want to call them, they are actually giving up on the match. Let's see if VAL can actually hold the building until the end. All the buildings. It would be very interesting if VAL can make all the board blue before ending the match. But we'll see. It's gonna be rough though. They still have 4 buildings to take to make everything blue, and they only have 5 minutes. Let me check a few things that I want to give to you guys soon. We do have indeed codes today. As soon as the match ends, I'm gonna gather the codes while I'm gonna talk to Val, and I'm gonna give you 1 or 2 codes. I might give you 1 code now, 1 code later, in the second stream when I am doing Reservoir Raid. That being said, we are getting give you guys some codes later on. We got some codes from our amazing sponsors. It's gonna be interesting to see if you guys are gonna stick to the codes, because I know if I give you the codes that I have, like the other streamers, I might get the codes and leave. Congratulations to the body champions! Wow, last 4 minutes is almost impossible for them to actually be able to lose this. Val went full Leroy Jenkins, and they're able to win as full Leroy Jenkins. And the board is almost all blue. Looks like they are, as I said, going for a full blue board at the end. And look at that, using speed ups even if the battle is already won. They really want that blue that board entirely blue. We'll see. We'll see if they're able to hold all of the board blue. And they were not able to hold it, not only the water treatment center, but also the center building. This is going to be very interesting. How are they going to react? Are they going to fight back for those buildings? Are they going to leave them behind as long as since they don't have solar at the moment, so they're not going to be able to hold for that long enough to probably make a difference? Looks like Thor defended the universe against Thanos. We only have 2 minutes and a half, I believe, of match, so... Congratulations to Val. Let's get some congratulations to Val in chat. Because this is a win. This is definitely a win. My next stream, I'd say it's probably around 2 hours from now. I'm going to do my own Reservoir Raid with my team. It's a small team from 710. But we are, after that, we are going to come and we're going to go on an interview in your Discord and Val. Before doing that, and I'm going to give you a few codes. I can rest cycle. I can let you know how everything went through when you wake up. Don't worry about it. We're doing codes as soon as we end this. They are the small codes. They're probably the 300 biocap codes. Thank you, Abu. Thank you. As I said, they are going for the full blue board. There are only 3 buildings left. I do believe that they do want to get that full blue screenshot at the end of the match. So I think they're gonna be hyper aggressive in the last 3 buildings. I may be wrong, but let's watch it. They are able to hold all the big buildings at the end, though. Schneider just hold a rally in the middle. Are they gonna fight for the last 3 buildings? I don't know. Congratulations to all Val Warriors, Akuma. I've seen you in I don't know if you've seen you in the battle, but I've seen you in the Discord, my friend. I've definitely seen you in the Discord. As you can see, I promised Thor to not have their voice comms, so I deafened myself to not have the voice comms. And I always keep my word. It's one of the reasons probably why Thor reached out to me, is because he know that he can trust me to not put any of your performance at risk. Alright, 1 minute and 12 seconds for the battle to officially end. Actually, only 11 seconds. Looks like the one was a little bit too premature there. That's what she said. And it's officially ended. Congratulations to all. And looks like we even got that screenshot of victory. Congratulations to all. And looks like even the music is at perfect point at the moment. All right, so let's cancel the transmission for this at the moment. Let's move back to the actual call, and let's congratulate Val.
Holy cow!
Congratulations for the double win! Congratulations for the double win!
We are the Golden State Warriors of the game.
Good job, everybody.
Congratulations for that win. That was an amazing match to host. You guys did awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was really close.
We kept the course. We kind of focused on all the things that we should focus on. Buildings were reset. The water spills were focused on. Water tanks were amazing. Good job, everybody. Good job. Stick to the plan.
Wow.
Perfect.
You have to get priority to sing over sing when you have pressure everywhere. Good job, everyone.
Exactly. They got only 6 buckets on the center, and that was enough to take the first two goal. It's okay. They got that. Maybe. Everywhere else, they kicked ass.
Yeah, right.
You can have this 10,000.
The moment at the beginning that I saw that first control so early, I it was even as we discussed, like, oh boy, they made a mistake, and it's gonna be a huge morale hit to get to lose 12,000 points this early.
I kept my team on track since I was leading that team, but I kept the team on track. It's okay if mistakes happen. We could have done a little bit better, but I think we took like 4 minutes and something on the center. They only took that 6 seconds, so it actually motivated us more.
In the middle of the game, they catched up a little bit to you. It was not perfect, but they still fought. They still fought hard to pressure you as long as they could. It was a very good match to watch.
Yeah.
Yes,
better than last final.
They play good, but they make a lot of mistakes. Moving big, strong people around.
Yeah, we did good on buildings this time, I think, for sure.
My worst field I feel 27 days.
Yeah.
But it was worth it.
Yeah, amazing, guys. It was amazing. Wow.
But we had the first occupation of the solar at Cologne. It was long.
Last 15 minutes, like, 45 minutes into the game.
They keep pressure on me, on my team. I was the team in lower left. They keep pressure on me all the game. They did amazing game. They did well.
Amazing rebroadcast as well. Even though that Tokugawa is focusing most on the buildings that he was in, and was still able to see almost everything that was happening around the match. So it was an amazing rebroadcast, able to rebroadcast with the information that I had.
Yeah, sorry, I was in the zone.
No, you do what you have to do for yourself, man. And it was actually very good. I was able to show every single information that I could.
I was going to ask Nick to start sharing and switch the broadcast to Team 1, but it was one heck of a game. We couldn't do any production of videos.
Nah, that's perfectly fine. Honestly, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, and that's why I couldn't hardly look away, because it was constant, just rallies.
I agree with you, Cycle. At least the generation limit.
Too much fighting 3 people. I was fighting 3 people on
at least the generation limit helps
at the same time, and constantly speeding back and returning.
How do you feel? How do you guys feel this match of actually being able to fight without having to worry about being one generation behind?
That helped.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And I am
Saved a
happy
lot of
because
troops.
I lost my aircraft just one time.
Wako is the best infantry hero for RR
It's a
because
progress.
Wako is a resonating hero,
Only you like we
and
lost
resonating
that
heroes
once,
work.
and that once costed us like the first control. But it's okay. It happens. It happens.
Yeah,
Same
yeah.
thing with
Today-
ammunition. Like also, we lost it once, and that once costed us also. But we did amazing. We kind of stayed on track.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Today was the first day in like 3 weeks that I hadn't lost my aircraft, so I was pretty proud of myself.
I still can't find mine.
It's so easy to lose it. You got so much going on.
We were having
I think he's recovering it.
I wasn't even thinking about my aircraft. I didn't have time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
They did really good. in the
but
beginning,
he's always here to tell me, where is your aircraft? We need it.
Yeah. So,
I just wonder.
Check
I wonder
everything.
why he.
You're spot on. So Nick, what he's trying to say, they did amazing at the start because they were able to fill the rallies even if the fillers are far. But when they were stretched thin, and this is a negative thing in their plan, when they were stretched thin, they couldn't have marches to fill all those rallies. They were like doubling the center, and the fillers are coming from Team 2 and Team 3. Like that would be a march coming in and a march coming out, and then a march.
Well,
coming
once the
in.
water tanks were open,
Even in my server, at the end,
This is
at the
exactly.
end they were doing a 2 minutes rally. So
This
they can't fill 1 minute.
Jojo.
This is exactly as we were discussing. I think it was 2 days ago.
Robert.
That not only did having them spread thin to be away, but also be having to do more than 1 minute rallies in a high pace. It's definitely a huge disadvantage in a competitive match. That can happen in normal RR, and usually it's not going to make that much of a difference because in RR no one is playing as seriously using that many biocaps as you guys are usually using here. But in a competitive match like this one, having 2 minute rallies is definitely going to kill your chances.
Exactly.
I
knew that beforehand. I knew that this is gonna kill them towards the second half of the game. They're gonna be able to fill all the rallies at the beginning. The buildings are like limited. There is no water tanks. There is nothing, so they can focus. So the gap was relaxing but good, like only 20k. And then in the second half, we kind of exploded. Like
yes, they're all max here, Cyclo. But I think they were only
400 car of Biocaps.
If I'm not mistaken.
That's 1 million.
For RR, they're only Gen 9.
We got to give them some credit because this is the first game that we won with less than 400,000 points. So
yeah,
yes.
Then 100k on the finals. So
Ahmed. Jojo.
I love how in the beginning.
بدنا نشحت ونسافروا.
والله يا ليت حتى بالديسكورد احمد
هلا حبيبي
جوجو اخر ربع ساعه دخل علينا يقول ليش بتقدمين علينا يا
انا اسمع يقول ليزارد
فهمني انا ما قدرتش اكمل كلامي بس كان منقطع الميه الصغيره اللي كنت بتكلم عليها.
Probably because they had two sets of resonating heroes. As they had two sets of resonating heroes, the other heroes tended to be shown only after the ones that were in Gen 8 and Gen 9.
He just mute us.
No. I was replying to my chat. I'm still here. I was saying that I was watching in my other screen some of the other matches of Reservoir Raid as well, and it seems like your match was a lot more consistent. And not only that, is that you started the match that you had wasn't the one that was closer and most clutch in the beginning, but as the other matches would move forward. The difference in the alliances were the ones in your and by the end that you were going in yours before the very end, right? Was the closest one. So credit where credit is due. R3X actually did a great job of not only being able to keep up but having their morale up. Because I was watching the other battles and it seemed like the other teams they gave up a lot earlier than they did. So they did a great job regardless. The thing is that you not only have a lot more experience in teamwork, but you're actually super powerful and super good. So,
thank you.
It helps. It helps when you have stats. So we had to double a couple of points, but in all things considered, we kind of strategized in a way where we would need to double only one spot and take everything else with one rally. If we left the plan as it was, we would have to double like 2 spots and then take it with one rally in one spot. So we kind of flipped the strategy for this game to win it. We knew them well. We knew their strategy well. The players at Val, like they all know what they are doing, all of them. So kudos to all of them. Water tanks, we killed it. Buildings, we killed it. Even water spills this time, we killed it. Usually, this is a bad thing. So good job, everybody.
Good job.
Hi, Kurdi.
Good
Hi.
job, people.
And yeah, it was an amazing match, and again, as we discussed previously, right, is that it makes a lot easier for you as the one that is leading if you don't have to micromanage everything, and you can trust your team to basically adapt as soon as you tell them to do a quick change in the plans, as long as it's something that probably they predicted and it is. They can execute it perfectly. That helps so much, and it's probably one of the things that most people don't know. Is that SVS, Reservoir Raid, and all those things? This is a game. That is very fluid, and if you are very close in one specific strategy and you're not easily able to adapt, you're gonna be killed by your opponents because this is an ever-evolving game. I've seen SVS and Reservoir Raid matches that sometimes the enemy adapts to your position, and if you don't adapt back to them, you die.
Yeah, that's true. 100%.
We did a good job matching our rally leaders with the ones that made more sense, and like Thorberт said, instead of having a double rally in 2 areas, we double rally in one. We talked about before, like with Ardbeg and Tokugawa, matching them to the right rally leaders, and all of that stuff, right, Robert? So there was a lot of good adjustments made beforehand, and
second code on stream. Second code on stream.
Yes.
DDL, I need the video of you dancing in Paris. I need that.
Yes, I promise.
I need that.
The victory dancing, yes, from Paris.
Yes.
Whatever happened to Mo's battle song? I'm still waiting on that video.
Oh no, we don't need that one.
It was
there will be no video of that.
You made me a promise. Don't go there. I have it recorded.
So we still have MM today, guys. We need to also put us there. So
we'll have another final today.
It's gonna be a full day. I also have our in like 1 hour, and I have Mining Mayhem later. So I know the feeling of it was fun and it was great, but you still have to keep your responsibilities, right?
Any questions from the stream? Anybody was like want to?
Not exactly on stream. I think I was able to respond to most questions, but his sponsors actually wanted me to do a short interview with you guys, if you don't mind, right? Some of the questions are completely irrelevant that I've covered them during the stream, so it's not right now. So I'm gonna adapt a few of the questions that they did, but I'm gonna start with the first one. How do you feel about today's result, which you covered? That's the first question.
Amazing. It is 9:13 a.m. and I started drinking. I switched my coffee to something else.
You would do that either way, either because you're happy or because you're sad, right?
Wait, so you waited? You waited till after?
I needed to be awake, so I drank like Red Bull and like 2 coffees. It was like 7 a.m. when I logged in. But now I need to kind of chill a bit. So, amazing job, all RL. Kudos to all the team. 355 couldn't execute better. So everybody made sacrifices. We reached here by being strong, being united. So good job, everybody. Good job.
All right, so second question.
And it's Father's Day, so drink up.
Yeah.
It was 1 hell of a week.
Second question is: can you talk a little bit about the roles of the players that were actually in the alliance as well? Because we know that you're the strategy, but we basically don't know all the faces behind VAL. So one of the questions is about talking about the roles of the players.
So we had this time we did 4 teams, not like not 3 teams as other teams would do. We had people that focus on the water tanks. They are they have something what I call situational awareness. So they know exactly what to do, even if they are outmatched or the stats are a little bit higher, which what it was the case in this game. So on the water tanks, like on the spot that I didn't know what was happening in the other spots, but I can tell you from now, like Nick had a hard time on the water tanks, but he knows how to play the game well. Same as A7, same as Nasser, same as all the people that went to, same as Steel, same as Chief, same as everybody that went to the small water tanks. We were outmatched with number and stats on the water tanks, yet we were able to do a very good game. The teams know exactly how to ghost, how to do a double rally, how to not make them control the building. That helped a lot. So they are on autopilot. Each team on our side, the communication is crazy hyper optimized. So this is what helps. So each team can focus on what they are doing, and they do it well. They have been doing it for so long. From the roles, we had like multiple players that are rally leaders focusing on the buildings, trying to rally the settlements to distract them, at the same time focusing on the building. So we were able to catch one or two settlement attacks on the center. I believe team 2, team 3, team 4 did the same. We were able to utilize our rally leaders in a better way, and this is what gave us the edge. Like Monkey Frog, Arthur, was bouncing between three buildings, making sure they don't have any control on the helipad, on the P4, or on the munition. They would rally us out. They have like high stats. Cold Cypher was strong, but we were able not to give him any points. So they took zero advantage from us except for the first control on the center and first control, or like one-time control on the munition and one-time control on P4. Other than that, we were kicking their ass. Team 2 was, I believe, doing the same. So kudos to Juju, the lead. He was leading the team. So we have each team a lead, and
Miles, thank you for the
each team
follow.
we have multiple rally leaders. They were able to communicate in their channel so that they get the job done. Same thing for team 3. Kudos to Toko, rally leader, and Buddha and Nasser and everybody on team 3. Same thing for team 4. DDL, Mother of Dragons. So like she did amazing job today.
All right, so
they needed help on first control on P3.
P3.
So Arthur jumped. Although he's in a different team, he jumped, helped. Same thing on the dev compound. So we were able to utilize the deployment of our rally leaders. Each team kind of had their own communication internally. It worked perfectly. It shows the experience. So in those games when the score is so close, the experience would show more than the stats. So even if the stats are close or the stats are a little bit like in some
Higher.
points we had an advantage, in some points they did have an advantage, the experience would show. So the team that has more experience stick to the plan, they would win.
So they spend for
big
nothing.
shout out to all the
for
team leaders
nothing.
keeping us all on track and making sure we're doing the right things and making sure everyone's in the
Exactly.
right place and bringing reserves in where it's needed and moving people around where needed. So thank you guys. And Mara, of course, thank you.
Yes,
And we are
big
friends
shout
in real life.
so
We met each other. It's amazing.
So I had two
Yes.
follow-up questions regarding to that question in specific, to what you said as the answers. You can reply to them together. I know the answer for the first one because I know, and I would like you to stick to the question because the question is, would you prefer? What do you prefer in terms of holding all the buildings or keeping control on the water tanks? I know that Valve philosophy is leave nothing at the board, but with those two awful choices of not leaving everything in the board, and that's the first question. And the second question is, which you, in a sense, kind of replied to: do you think that having a good strategy can beat a much powerful team?
Much, like by far, no. But if it is like if a stronger team, and we always face stronger teams, yes, it can. So strategy, if you have to put like a percentage, stats would give you 40% edge. Strategy would give you 60% edge. So you can go up to a level when your stats are a bit behind. Strategy can compensate and actually can give you an edge. So strategy comes first, stats come second. But if the gap is so big, then no. Even with a good strategy, you cannot do anything.
So the coefficient would be more for strategy, but and it can compensate if somebody is 20% higher than you, even to 25% higher than you. If it is more than that, then like you cannot win. It's like you're facing a wall and you have to double every single point. Yeah, that's not gonna yield any good result. For the first question, you cannot focus on one thing. You have 30 players, you have 30 minds. So you have to utilize each and every single one of those teams. And you have, like, if you want to turn it into a mathematical equation, it's a multivariable equation. You cannot optimize one factor and leave the second, and it won't yield in the best outcome. So you'd have to, if you are like not able to take control of the buildings, you have to reset them. That's a must. They cannot sit in the building and you leave them gain easy points, since guess what, they're going to leave 2 or 3 people in the building and go hit you on the water tanks. Water tanks, a lot of teams like don't focus on them. They need to be focused on more, and they need to have a specific team for them assigned from the start. Although those players would be playing a different role at the start, the role would shift when the water tanks open. So you cannot focus on one thing but the other. You have to focus on multiple things. If you're hitting a wall on the buildings, just focus on resetting them.
He will tell all the magic stuff we have.
I can share our strategy. Nobody can execute it as good as we do.
Nobody. I agree with that.
Let them do something. Don't give them for free.
No, but
Thor wanted to call this the multivariable alliance, but he couldn't fit the letters.
Yeah, too long.
That's a good. Let's change. Send feedback to developers to increase the size of what you can do with the names of alliances. So one thing regarding RR, and I think everyone can reply in this one. So did you guys like the changes that they did, specifically for now with the water spills and the mechanics that you can actually turn around and do more competitive in each spot? So how do you feel about that?
I'll let the team answer. I didn't like it, by the way, but the team can answer.
I don't like the water spills at all.
Yeah.
Me too.
I don't either.
It's distracting.
It is. It's very distracting and pointless, in my opinion, because the stronger team with better strategy can control buildings, and then you just sneak in and get water spills. I don't like it.
I agree.
All right, seems like we have a consensus of not liking it, but I guess we can all agree, and this is the point that I can say as well, that it's definitely a game changer compared to how it was before. It changed the dynamic of everything, though.
It did. It added a lot of things that we would need to focus on, but those things won't make the game more fair. It would make it more like random.
Frustrating.
And we don't like random. We like stuff that we can control, either win or lose, but you can have like at least a prediction on. With the water spills, it's so fucking random, especially if the game is so close, it can flip the game in the last minute. So that's why we kind of kept on increasing the cap, so we don't face that. Since I have a lot of friends in other states where they were ahead until the minute 1:22, and you're gonna see it in Godzilla video. They were ahead by like 2K, and then it flipped in the last 1 minute, and they lost by 6K. That's sad. That's bad.
Let's say water spills. They weren't executed very well. They're small puddles, so they were hard to click on, and with the lag and everything, you struggle.
What lag? The game, the Tokugawa client crashed just 3 times during the match.
Yeah.
Imagine
all of our
that
team was
randomness.
crashing.
Is that all?
Exactly.
Authentic SOS experience on stream.
And it tend to crash when you're collecting water spills a lot, and it did 3 times also on my end. So when you're adding a random factor and then the game is not stable and crashes, then you're adding more randomness to the equation. That's bad. That's not even making it fair. That's like
the mini map. I saw water spills around certain buildings, and I looked everywhere around it. There was nothing.
I had that same.
So let's assume. Okay, this is scenario. This is from me. Let's assume that the water spills were better executed, like having a higher hitbox, and the game was more stable in terms of crashing. I believe that it would be much better and would look more less random, because the randomness of the factor of the water spills, I believe it comes more from execution than the idea itself. At least that's the impression that I get, because you cannot trust the game will not crash and you cannot trust that you're not gonna be you're gonna be responsive when you tap or you click in a water spill or something like that.
Or you
Well, I
can
think
fight
in a game like this where it's pretty close, the water spills make almost no difference because the points are being reset so often. It seems more like a comeback mechanic for
even in another
a
game,
really
though,
far
Nick,
point.
difference. Like if you're getting owned, it's not adding that much anyway.
Yeah, it's not adding enough for you to come back anyway, so I don't see where the point is on that. But I see what they were trying to do, make a comeback mechanic for
It's
that.
been good in smaller alliances and when you're behind.
It's an
interesting from experience.
I think it's an interesting mechanic, but I think I do agree with the points that you made that the execution was very poor, especially due to the limitations and the issues that game already has. But some of those limitations are hard to actually be able to handle due to the fact that, as you said, there are crashes, the water puddles are hard to click, sometimes they bug showing where they're not there, so it can be problematic. So I think it's a fair point, and I probably, from my experience, know that developers are going to watch this interview, so this is a shout-out as feedback from the champions to you guys.
Thank you.
And
one more thing I want to say before you go, Lizard.
I had 2 more questions, and then I can go. And sorry that I'm taking a lot of time for that. The last 2 questions is basically, one of them is it's about strategy right now in terms of basic espionage and stuff like that. Feel free to share what you want to. So how far you usually go in making strategies, and do you do a lot of scouting in terms of stats, skills, and other things like in other places like SVS? How far do you go in scouting the information? As I said, feel free to...
Sorbet is 007.
As far as you can go.
The spy.
And at 0 to 10, you do 1,000.
What we can tell you, we have the size of their underwear.
We know everything.
Yeah.
We use CIA and KGB as well.
Exactly. We have a lot of it's not only me, but we have a group of friends and connections, and not only me that does that. We kind of try to gather as much intelligence as we can and know the enemy, whether it is a strong game for the final or whether it is a normal game or anything that we're playing. So we kind of play an important role and have that. We go into the game way too prepared, so we know them by name, by everything. So I know I go with the underwear size, but we might have that. But I cannot confirm or deny.
I think if you know their underwear size, you're going a little bit too far.
So it's like a CIA answer. I cannot confirm or deny our intelligence gathering process.
Songs, I just write documented in there somewhere.
Yeah, but again, it helps you go prepared. So in games like this, the experience of the players shows, the readiness of the team show, the strategy show. So all those aspects where you can like outmatch the enemy, and anything you can take advantage of the way they play, their strategy, how what they focus on, what they don't focus on. And we spoke yesterday like on a couple of things. Like before going into the game, we knew that their fillers are far. So that's a key thing that we kind of exploited. We knew that they do some 2-minute rallies, and we try to exploit that. We knew that the people that they would send to the water tanks, so we kind of deployed our teams in a way. We knew which player goes to which building, so we also took advantage of that. So they executed exactly what we were ready for. So that gave us an edge.
And I've seen... Sorry, go ahead. Finish.
Yeah. In games like this, it shows.
Yeah, I was gonna say exactly that, because I'd seen one of the points where they did a Chimid rally against Tokugawa in one of the buildings, and they took the building from Tokugawa, but they actually took the building like 1 second after the occupation. So you still got full occupation for that building.
Yeah. Yep. So again, and we spoke about that. So all the first controls were mistakes done by the other team. So that you cannot. So the solar, was it like minute 35, we took first control over it. Like it was like 35 minutes in the game until we took first control on the soldier. So until they make a mistake or we make a mistake in close games, like, and this game is worth finals. So this is a really a finals game. So that's why we loved it. So but we did better, and thanks to all the team to do that. Like all the members, all the teams, they did amazing job.
Agree.
All right, so the final question before I let you guys go, and sorry for taking this much time, is have you guys met or done parties or any events together offline in general that you guys actually met in real life? I don't know why to get sponsors ask
a big portion, yes. A big portion, yes.
So I guess you're going to celebrate, right, in real life as well after this. You definitely do need a drinking party because it's not... I don't know of many alliances that actually were 2 times champion in Reservoir League.
Me neither. Yeah. So I don't know. It might have happened, so we don't know exactly outside our group. But in our group, no, nobody had it twice, and we're the first.
Hey, so congratulations for that feat as well.
Thank you.
Hey, Liz, thanks. I want to say one more thing before you get off. I am going into retirement, just so you guys know, Nick Bizzle. So if anyone is looking for an account in the most competitive state, biggest winner, most competitive state,
let's be careful about TOS stats, because we all know that accounts are only misplaced by BlueStacks, right? They're never shared or so.
Game policy. Yeah, so that's like the game policy. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yes, and we all know that accounts are never shared or sold, and they are only accessed by accident in BlueStacks. So if someone accesses Nick's account by accident, let him know.
Right.
We're just gonna stick with that.
It's fine.
Exactly.
Don't worry about it.
Exactly, but you can reach out if you want any questions.